New information from last night's deadly officer-involved shooting. We're live at the scene. 17 News was in the courtroom as new developments were revealed in the Brian Oliver Taft High School shooting trial. And the Condor Empire prepares to strike back as our local hockey team takes to the ice. This is 17 News at 5.
And good evening to you. Thanks for being with us here at 5 o'clock. I'm Jim Scott.
I'm Tammy Melchak. We begin tonight with new details from last night's fatal officer-involved shooting in Northeast Bakersfield. 17's Jason Galvin joins us live at the scene where police have identified the suspect and also revealed more information on what the department says caused officers to open fire. Jason?
Yeah, Tammy, the Kern County Coroner's Office has identified the suspect as 22-year-old Ramiro James Villegas of Bakersfield. The Bakersfield Police Department says he was shot and killed by officers last night just after 9:15 on the eastbound 178 on-ramp at Mount Vernon Avenue. Officials say this all happened after a patrol car with two officers attempted to initiate a traffic stop in the area of Flower Street and Beale Avenue. They say they spotted a silver Jeep Liberty driving erratically. Officers followed the vehicle onto eastbound Highway 178. After a short high-speed pursuit, the suspect exited at Mount Vernon and struck a traffic light at the eastbound on-ramp back onto the 178. At that time, according to witnesses interviewed by the police, Villegas exited his vehicle and, quote, failed to comply with officer demands. Police say witnesses told them Villegas aggressively approached the officers, making gestures and swearing at them. Officers said they attempted to deploy a taser, although officials say it was unclear if the device made contact with Villegas. That's when officers reacted.
He reached suddenly for his waistband and grabbed onto his waistband, at which point officers opened fire, shooting multiple rounds. Three officers shot multiple rounds, striking the suspect. At that point, the suspect, medical aid was summoned. He was transported to an area hospital where he was pronounced deceased.
And he got out the car and then just waved his hands in the air, like kind of just like, what's up?
Where were you guys?
He just got shot. The cop got out and just shot him in the head.
Police say they found no evidence so far that Villegas was armed or that he disposed of anything during the pursuit. Police also stressed this investigation is in the early stages and interviews with the involved officers are still being conducted. Those officers are on administrative leave. A small memorial for Villegas with balloons and flowers is already in place here on the ramp to the 178 eastbound, and we're told that there will be a candlelight vigil at 6 p.m. tonight right here on the 178 eastbound on-ramp at Mount Vernon Avenue. We'll do our best to speak with somebody on the ground and bring it to you then. Reporting live in Northeast Bakersfield, I'm Jason Galvin, 17 News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us for 17 News at 6. I'm Jim Scott.
And I'm Rochelle Murcia. We'll have more on those stories coming up, but we begin tonight with continuing to follow new details from last night's fatal officer-involved shooting in Northeast Bakersfield. 17's Jason Galvin is live there at the scene where some people have started showing up this evening to protest as the coroner's office identifies the man officers shot and killed last night. Jason?
Yeah, that's right, Rochelle. More than some people. I'd say at least 50 people have showed up, and they continue to come in droves. The Kern County Coroner's Office has identified the suspect as 22-year-old Ramiro James Villegas of Bakersfield. Police officials say he was shot and killed by officers last night following a chase that concluded on the eastbound 178 on-ramp off of Mount Vernon Avenue. Now, as I said, this is all after what officials say a patrol car and two officers attempted to initiate a traffic stop in the area of Flower Street and Beale Avenue. They say they spotted Villegas driving erratically in a silver Jeep Liberty. Officers followed the vehicle onto the eastbound 178. A short high-speed pursuit followed, and the suspect exited at Mount Vernon and struck a traffic light at the eastbound on-ramp back onto the 178. At that time, according to witnesses interviewed by the police, Villegas exited his vehicle and, quote, failed to comply with officer demands. Police say witnesses told them Villegas aggressively approached the officers, making gestures and swearing at them. Officers said they attempted to deploy a taser, although officials say it was unclear if the device made contact with Villegas. At that time, three officers in the Bakersfield Police Department opened fire, fatally striking Villegas. Police say it's important to note that all of this is second-hand information at this time.
Much of this, the statements on what happened at the scene, the suspects aggressive behavior, confrontational behavior, those are based on witness statements. Those are not officer statements. Those are witness statements. We're just now getting into officer statements on what they're adding to this incident.
And police say they found no evidence so far that Villegas was armed or that he disposed of anything during the pursuit. They also say it's too early to tell if drugs or alcohol played a factor in this incident. The Kern County Coroner's Office has confirmed an autopsy on Villegas is scheduled for Monday. Grubbs said that interviews with the involved officers could take days and that those officers are on administrative leave. Back live here now at the scene. As you can see the visual going on behind me, like I said, there are at least 50, if not more now, people here for it, coming in droves to line up on the corner in the vigil for Villegas. Now, they have declined to speak on camera, but I had a chance to speak with a family friend earlier today, and he said the thought of this happening to Villegas is nearly unimaginable, that he was a fun-loving guy, he was always smiling, and he never got himself into trouble. That's all from here in Northeast Bakersfield. We're live. I'm Jason Galvin, 17 News.
Jason, thank you.